Hey fellas, Meat Trapper here. It is August in Alabama. That means hot. Hot, listless, and I'm ready for some cool weather. By this time of the year, you know, the novelty of summer has long worn off, and it just becomes a grind. We've got about another month of really hot weather, and then maybe 2 months before we have cool weather. So I haven't been doing a lot of trapping, but what I am doing is I'm scouting today. Now, one of the things that I'd like to convey about scouting is the importance of not just looking for sign, but actually observing the animals themselves. So for me, that means sometimes taking a position up on a bank, up in a clump of trees, and just wait until it gets dark and to see what the beavers are doing when they come out, exactly where they're going. Case in point is a small isolated pond that is accessible only by foot. Now, I've trapped this pond before in the past with mixed success. And what I did is I went there right at dusk and I did some filming. And what I saw really surprised me, and I think it'll surprise you as well. This pond has 3 dams on it in succession. So it has a high dam, another dam, and another dam. There's not much activity on the crossovers. When I walked the perimeter of it, there wasn't any slides or any hot sign or anything like that. Now, in this type of weather, the beavers are not going to move very much. So if I had to catch food in this heat, you know, how would I set that pond up? Just putting a 330 on the crossover isn't going to cut it. And there's no obvious sign. So what I did is I sat up and waited for dusk and watched what they did. And I think you'll find this interesting for 2 reasons. Number one, they didn't move very much. But number two, the beaver that you're going to see is one of the biggest beavers that I've ever seen in this area. This beaver was huge. Now, a little bit about the footage. The cell phone, when it gets dark, it tends to artificially brighten the screen. So what you're going to see looks a lot brighter than what it really was. It was actually quite dark, almost completely dark. And so the color is off. The color and the contrast and the footage looks kind of funny. Another thing that you can't really tell is there's nothing to judge the size by. You can't tell how big this beaver is because there's nothing to compare it to. But I can promise you this was a huge beaver. I'm honestly thinking about catching this beaver alive this fall and having a full body mount done. That's how big this thing was. It would be the biggest beaver that I've ever caught, and I've caught some big ones. But anyway, by sitting up and actually watching them, I was able to see exactly what this big beaver was doing, exactly where he was going. And without this footage, I would never catch this guy. If I just went out and put 330s on crossovers and all of that, that's not what he was doing. So now I know exactly where he's going, exactly how he is feeding, and I know exactly how to catch him. So let's take a look. Well, I hope that was interesting and informative. And you know, you can read sign all you want, but nothing beats actual observation. But anyway, I'm out paddling today. I am in my new kayak. I still have my old Perception Pescador 12, the red one. I love that boat. That's a very, very nice sit-on-top boat. But I wanted something a little bit longer with a little bit more speed and performance to it, so that I could take some longer trips and get there faster. So I bought a Pungo, a Wilderness Systems Pungo 140. It's a 14-foot sit-in kayak, and I tell you, this thing really is fast. It's very fast and it's very stable, and usually those are two trade-offs that you have to make. You can usually get stable and slow, or wobbly and fast, but this kayak gives you the best of both worlds. Today, I was running my GPS and I hit 6 miles an hour paddling this boat. To me, that's unheard of. 6 miles an hour. You can really cover a lot of ground. I wouldn't be able to keep that pace up indefinitely, but just cruising along, I'm averaging about 3 miles an hour. So stay tuned. I'll have a full review once I've put it through its paces, and I might do a compare and contrast video for the sit on top versus the sit in. But if you ever are in the market for a kayak, give the Pungo 140 a serious look if you're into a sit-in kayak. So anyway, oh, one other note, I have been out of stock on Meat Trapper skinners for quite some time. I have another shipment coming in the next few weeks. Not many of them, and the last shipment sold out in about a week. The entire shipment was gone. I have several gentlemen who are already on the waiting list. So if you want one, email me, meattrapper@gmail.com. You can go to meattrapper.com, click on available knives. They're all gone, they're all sold out, but you can see pictures of what they look like. And you can also click on the video in the screen here and get a full review on those things. These things are made by hand, and they are absolute works of art. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.